K9 appears at police station. With injured girl, what he reveals starts a federal raid. Before we dive in this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. If you like the video, please subscribe. The police station doors flew open, and in limped a K9 unit alone, muzzle scratched, fur bloodied. Behind him, dragging her feet, was a young black girl, barely 10, bruised and silent. The dog led her straight to the front desk, like he knew exactly where to go. Officers froze. No handler. No explanation. But when the girl finally whispered just one name, everything changed. Within hours, agents were suiting up for a federal raid that would uncover something far darker than anyone expected. What was the K9 trying to expose? And why was that little girl the only witness? Officer Mills had worked in law enforcement for 22 years and thought he'd seen it all. But nothing could have prepared him for the moment a bloodied German shepherd, badge still, clipped to his collar, burst into the precinct dragging a half-conscious child behind him. The girl's skin was marked with bruises and duct tape residue. Her eyes were swollen, lips trembling, but she clutched the K9 like he was her lifeline. The dog, known as Rex, belonged to a missing officer, Mark Dalton, who had vanished a week earlier during a routine drug bust. Rex had also been presumed missing or worse. Now here he was, limping but alive, leading this girl to safety. The department scrambled. Who was the girl? Where had Rex taken her? And where was Officer Dalton? What she finally revealed would send shockwaves through the entire force and launch an investigation far above their jurisdiction. The little girl, whose name was Amira, hadn't been reported missing. No Amber Alert. No one is looking. She refused to speak at first except to pet Rex and mutter, "He saved me." Hours later, in a quiet room with a trauma counselor, she opened up. Rex had led her out of a barn in the woods, one filled with other children locked in cages. She'd been there for weeks. The men who ran it called themselves the Circle. She didn't know their names, but she remembered the smell, the sound of heavy boots, and one chilling detail. One of them wore a police badge. That stopped everyone cold. Meanwhile, a vet examined Rex and found a tracker embedded under his skin, along with fragments of a camera lens, hidden surveillance. The K9 had recorded everything. When the footage was recovered, it showed Officer Dalton confronting men on a farm. The footage ended abruptly with shouting and gunfire, but it was enough. Faces were visible. One of them? A high-ranking official in the sheriff's department. The FBI was alerted within the hour. What had begun as a routine missing persons case had become something else entirely. A covert child trafficking ring with ties to law enforcement, masked under rural silence and power. The girl's testimony, backed by Rex's footage, became the key. The farm's location matched what she described. The countdown to a raid had begun. Just before dawn, federal agents surrounded the compound. No sirens, no warnings. Guns were drawn. They breached the farmhouse and found what Amira had described. Locked rooms, makeshift cells, and 6 more children, terrified and crying. The men inside didn't resist. Maybe they knew it was over. Among them was a decorated officer who had once trained Rex, his betrayal cut deepest. In his files, they found logs of every child taken, coded, and chillingly organized. Officer Dalton's body was recovered in a shallow grave behind the barn, hands still tied. But his actions, and Rex's loyalty, had led to freedom for others. The K9 had done more than survive. He had finished what his handler had started. Amira was placed in protective care and later adopted by a family who promised never to let her story be buried. She now speaks at schools and events about courage, survival, and the importance of trust. Rex was retired with full honors, awarded a medal, and spent his remaining years by Amira's side, a living reminder of quiet heroes. Federal raid uncovered a multi-state trafficking network, exposing corruption that ran deep. Officers once hailed as heroes were unmasked. And because one dog refused to leave a child behind, everything changed. Sometimes justice doesn't come in a uniform or a courtroom. It comes on 4 legs covered in dirt, dragging the truth into the light. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments, and share this to honor the ones who can't speak for themselves. Take care.